Hello everyone, welcome back to the new video. This is the second part of my library book management system project. In this video, I will go over my database.py file. In this I will tell like what I am doing here, what different methods are there, and I will try to execute some of the methods and see how they are working and what's happening there. So yeah, let's start the video. So in the first initial line, I am importing the necessary libraries, snowflake.connector. In the previous video I already explained like what's snowflake.connector and why do we need it. It's just basically we need it to connect to our Snowflake with our Python. I will link the video in my description. And then there is a snowflake.connector.pandas underscore tools, and from there I am importing write pandas because there is one method in which I am uploading a data frame, a pandas data frame, to our Snowflake table, and then I am importing datetime library. So I am creating a class connection which is going to take care of the different methods like creating a table and creating a backup of that table, creating the connection, inserting value in a table, inserting a column, all those things. So yeah, for that there's a constructor. In constructor I have the different arguments that I need to create the connection. What are the arguments? Like user, password, account, database, and schema. Database and schema are optional, but I have them here because this you can say file is specifically going to deal with my project, that is the library book management system and all, and then that's why I have the database and schema specifically for that. But if these are optional, you can remove it. And then I am annotating here that user, the type of the user is going to be the string, password string. So that's so I am annotating my argument types. This helps like to have a better visibility, and whenever you are going to create the function or call the function, then you will know, like it will give you the hint like your user type has to be string. If it's not string, it will like have those wiggly lines under the argument like the data type is wrong, so it will tell you like you are doing something wrong, you should correct it. So that's why I'm annotating everything here, so that it's helpful for the user who is going to use this file. And then after that I have a try except block. What does try except block does? I mean, I can just give a generic explanation here, but in the future I am going to make a full-fledged video on this. What it does, it like if there's an exception or if something wrong in the try block, then the except block will execute and it will raise the exception. So first it will try to run this statement, and if it see there is something wrong, then it will go to the except statement and then it will execute this thing. Basically it does not abruptly closes your program. So yeah, that's what try except block does. And then in the try I am creating a connection object. In the connection I am using like snowflake.connector.connect, and then I am passing the arguments that I need, that is user, password, account, database, and schema. And then from this connection I am creating a cursor, and we already know that we are going to use cursor to execute all of our SQL statements. So I am creating a cursor object like self.con.cursor. Once it's executed, then it will give me the connection is successful. This thing, this will print it out. If there is an error here, if there is some error, then this exception will be raised. Okay, so yeah, let me try to show you like how it works. If I have already created the connection, I will just show you how those annotation things works. C is equal to connection. This is the connection. If I go here, it will show me like user is equal to string. Let me do user is equal to string ABC, and then password is also string. Password is equal to also string str, and then account is also string str. Database also string. Database is equal to also string, and then schema is also string. Schema is equal to also ABCD. So here I have passed all the correct values for our arguments, so that's why there is no error. So here schema is string, let me do it as a, instead of string let me pass it as an integer. If I do it as an integer, see here there's a wiggly line here and it's telling like cannot be assigned this parameter schema of type string here in this function is underscore underscore init. Yeah, so it will tell us like there is something wrong, we should fix it. So that's why, that's what annotation does, it helps us in passing the correct argument, or you can say correct values. I already created the connection, so I will not run it. Let me close it here. So once the connection, so here it's in the constructor, so as soon as we will create the instance of this class, we will have our connection set up. Some people might have doubt like why we are not using self here, like self.user, self.password, self.account. So it's not necessary here because I don't need these values anywhere in my other methods. If I want them as a reusable and I want to, you can say, call them somewhere in my methods, that I can use them as self.user, self.password, but it's just for the connection. Once the connection is created, I don't need my user, I don't need my password. So that's why you can just pass it here. But if you want them as like that, then you can do like self.user. What is user? User self.password is equal to password. All those things, other things also, and then here you can just call self.user, self.password like this. You can make these only these changes and then you will have it like that. But if you want to use these arguments anywhere in your methods, then you can do it like self, but I don't need it here, so I have not created it like that. Yeah, so after the constructor I have a method that is create table, and here I need two arguments, that is table name and the schema. They both are string. So here I have a query in which create or replace table, the curly braces and then one more curly braces. So these are like two dynamic print statements, and here dot format I am using table name and schema. So what here it's doing, I am dynamically having the values here. So for first curly braces is going to be the first value like table name, for second one it's going to be the second value schema, and then I am executing this query with my cursor object that I created above. It's like query.create, and then I am using the commit. What does commit do? As soon as you commit it, all the changes or the things that you are executing, they will be updated in our database. And then once it's done, I can do like table name is created. So this is one way of having a dynamic statement. This is the other way. This is f string. You can just do like f quotes table and then curly braces, and in what do you want in those curly braces? Table name. What is the table name that I am passing here is created. So let me call this method create table. So I have already created it here, c.create table. What's my table name? Private table. And then these are my schema. What is my schema? This is all string, roll number is integer, first name is varchar, here is date. So let me run this. Here table private table is created. Let me go here, refresh this. Now I have this private table here with the schema. Roll number is number, first name is varchar, and here is date. Yeah, so this method is working fine. And then there is a method insert value in table. For this method I need again arguments. What are the arguments? Table name, that is going to be string, and then double asterisk quarks. So let me just go for a second to explain what is this double asterisk quarks. Def my underscore method, here double asterisk quarks, here print kwargs, and then print. type of KWARGS. What is double asterisk quarks? Double asterisk quarks is like when we don't know how many keyword arguments are going to be there. If you know this specific length, then you can just have the normal keyword arguments like def my method. What are the keyword arguments that you pass with the keys? For example, like name is equal to John, age is equal to 32. So these are the keyword arguments. Here I know, like for whatever method it is, I know I need only these two arguments, so I can have it like this. But here I don't know how many arguments are going to be there. Then I can pass like keyword like double asterisk quarks. So let me execute this, and now let me call this my method. I don't know how many arguments are going to be there, so let me just use it like this, and let me pass it here. Run this. Now roll number is 1, first name is John, year is 2024 12/12, like this. Suppose there is one more. What is this? Like last name, last underscore name. What is last name? Sina. It will also run. Last name is John Sina, and here let's say class is equal to 10. It will run. So this is used when we don't know how many keyword arguments are going to be there. And what's the type of this? They are passed as a dictionary. When you pass them as a dictionary, this is key. For each key there's a value 1. For example, here roll number is the key. For this roll number, what is the value? 1. Key, first name, value, John. So these are like key value pairs. So that's what are quarks, keyword arguments. Okay, so now coming here, I am creating columns for which I am taking keys of the keyword arguments, and then I am joining them with a comma, and then I am creating values. For values I am using list comprehension. So like this statement inside the join, this is list comprehension, and what's happening inside the list comprehension, I am taking the values of keyword arguments. I already explained what are the values, so let me read it. So for value in keyword arguments dot values, for each value I will check if is instance value string. Here like I will check if the value that is there is an instance or its type is string. If it is string, then I want that value, but I want that value in quotes. So here I am doing like quotes here. If it's not if else, otherwise just I want the value but just convert it to the string. So that's what happening here. So I am getting all the values. If it's a string type, then I want them in the quotes. If they are not string type, just convert it to the string but don't put extra quotes around it. And then again I am joining all those values with comma. And then I have a query in which what I am doing, inserting into table name. What's the table name that I am going to pass here? For columns, what are the columns? I already know the keys, and in those columns put the values. Which values? That I have as the values for my those keys. And then again I am committing the changes. What does commit does? It will make the changes in the database, and then I am printing the statement like values are inserted in the table name. Which table name? The table name that I have here. Here again I am using f string. So let me go here and run this. C dot insert value in table. Which value? Which table? Private table, that table that I just created. Which values? I have only for roll number, first name, year. Like I run this, and now I got the prints. I got the statement like values are inserted in private table. Let me go here and run this. Select asterisk from private table. Yeah, so I have the values 1 John 12/12/24, something like that. Okay, this method is also working fine. And then I have a method add column to a table. What will it do? As the name suggests, it will add a new column to a table. So table must be already there. It will not just create a new table and then add the columns to it. Yeah. Table name, again it has to be the string, and then columns have to be the dictionary. Why? Because in that I can pass the column name and then the data type for it. I want like column 1, I want varchar data type for it. I want column 2 and I want integer data type for it. Here I am running for column name comma data type in columns dot items, because it's a dictionary, so I can use like dot items and then like key value in this, and then there's a query in which I guess everybody knows how to add a new column to a table. In Snowflake you can do like alter table. Which table? Table name, the name that I'm going to pass. What I have to do to this table, what I have to alter, I have to add a column. Add column. Which column? The column name, that is key. I mean this column, whatever we are going to pass. And what has to be the data type of the column? Data type has to be the value of that key data type that I am getting here. And then again I am committing the query, executing the query, committing the query, and then printing the statement. So let me go here, add column to a table. Let me run this also. C dot add column to table. What table? Private table. Private underscore table. And then I have to create a dictionary. I want last name column. What has to be the data type? Varchar. Let me run this. Column last name added to the table, private table with data type varchar. Let me come here, refresh this. Now I have the last name also here with data type varchar. Let me run this here and we will see. Yep, we have the last name here. This method is also working fine. And then next method is upload CSV to Snowflake. In this method I need two arguments. First argument is data frame that we want to upload to our Snowflake, and then the table name, to which table we want to upload. If the table is not there, then it will throw the error. Why? Because inside the method, when I am calling this write pandas, in this auto create table I have it false here. So that table already has to be there. If it's not, then this method will throw the error. So what we can do, first we can create the table with the defined schema that we need for our, you can say, this write pandas function, and then we can just call this method with the data frame that we need and the table name that we created. Once it's done, the file will be in our table. I can make it, I can like modify it and have like yeah, I think I can modify it and make it true. Yeah, I can make the changes, but I don't feel like I should do it now. I think it's fine for now. The next methods are like, if I have a proper functioning pipeline and all, then these methods are useful, but for now with my current purpose they are not. So here I am creating a method get row count. Row count for what? The argument is table name. Get me the row count of the table name that I am passing here. So select count star from table name. It will run it and it will just return me the value for it. Then creating a backup table. Creating for this I need again two arguments, original table, the table for which I have to create the backup, and then the name of the backup table that where I want to have the backup. Like it's useful like if I have a pipeline and I every day my data is coming and I feel like there is some abruption, so I have the backup. Like if I lose more than 2% of my data, then I have my backup table, and then I can have my analytics and other useful purposes. I can just use this backup table when like data engineering team or everyone is trying to see like why there is so much drop in the data. So like these are the use cases when I can use the create backup table or something like that. And then the restore table, I guess it suggests the name is suggesting, like if we notice that there is some, you can say, too much data discrepancy or we lost data, then we can restore from our backup tables. And then I have like create book availability status table. This is just this method is just for this particular table, it's not fulfilling any purpose. So what's happening here, I am creating this table from this table, like library books table, and then all the values that are coming from this library books table, I am adding them into my book availability status table with one additional column. That additional column is transaction date, and in the transaction date, what is the value is today's date. And what is today's date? Today's date is whenever you are going to run this function, whatever date is on that particular day, that is the today date. So yeah, and then I have the close method. As soon as we feel like our purpose is done, we have used the method, we don't have to be connected to the Snowflake, we can just close our cursor and connection object, so that it's for the safety purpose, so that no changes are happening or like we are done with our connection. So I guess I have covered everything here. In the next video I will go over my other two files, that is student.py and library.py. I don't feel like they will take much time, and if I feel like they can, then I will just go over one of those files. But yeah, in this video I guess I will keep it until here. I hope this video was helpful and everyone learned something new, and I will see everyone in the next video. Until then, take care, have a good day, bye.